If there's one thing we use on almost every show as a stagehand, it's tape. So let's take a look at what we use it for, along with some tips and tricks so you look like you know what you're doing. Gaff tape is the standard for everything in production. It's low profile, has good adhesive, and it comes off easily without leaving a sticky residue like duct tape. Gaff tape should be provided by the production. As a stagehand, you're not expected to have your own. This stuff is pretty expensive. E-tape, or electrical tape, on the other hand, you should always carry with you on the gig. We use it for all sorts of different things, and if you're the guy with the E-tape, you'll get extra kudos from the roadies. Some of the main things that we use E-tape for are looming cables together, cleaning up cables on a truss, and tying off a coil of cables. In general, we use tape for securing things, labeling things, marking specific positions, and color coding. First up, let's talk about taping down cables. Let's say you need to tape down some cables. With corporate events, this is something you will do every time. With concerts, we mostly use cable ramps. If it's just a cable running along a wall, you only need to tack it down in a few places. But if it's running across a walkway, we'll need to tape down the whole thing. The key is to make it as straight as possible. First, we'll tack down either side. In order to get a straight line, your instinct may be to do a little bit at a time, but a better, more efficient way to do it is have a buddy help you. So the other person will hold it down on the end and stretch it all the way out so that you can get a really nice, clean, straight line. This trick of pulling it all the way out before laying it down goes for any time you need to get a straight line on the job. When labeling something like this road case, you want the letters to be big and readable. Sometimes it's helpful to write out the label on the tape before you tear it off. Or you can put it on a flat surface to write it out and then tear it to size. For labeling cables, you want to label both ends before you run it out. You don't want to have to trace each cable back just to find out which one is which. You can either put the tape right on the connector or do it like this. Here's a tip that comes in really handy to be able to tell whether a case is empty or full. E obviously stands for empty, and then you can just peel off the piece of tape and now it's an F for full. We also use tape to mark exactly where things go. We call them spike marks. Oftentimes, there will be spike marks on truss that show where to hang lighting fixtures, or spike marks on cables to show how far they need to be run out. We'll also spike things on the floor of exactly where they're gonna go. For concerts, we usually have multiple bands, so at set change, we'll spike exactly where the thing is gonna go, and then when it comes time to move it, there's no guesswork. For theater shows, there's a lot more set pieces involved, and the stage could be littered with spike marks. So what we'll do in that case is we'll use color coding. We'll use different colors for different pieces or different scenes, and then we'll label it with the specific piece that's gonna go there during the show. A couple of things to note when we do this. Generally, we'll only spike the upstage corners of the piece, and then the next thing is that we'll put clear tape or Marley tape over it to protect the spike and keep it from getting peeled up by the actor's feet. We'll also use brightly colored tape to mark off hazards. Most commonly would be the stage edge and stairs. This way, the performers can very clearly see where the edges are and they don't fall off. Sometimes we even use glow-in-the-dark tape. We call it glow tape for short, And that way, when the house lights go out, we can still see where every single step is, even in the dark. For the loadout, it's really nice to have one of these safety cutters. That makes it a whole lot easier to cut the tape, and it protects your fingers and the cables. Not only are these a lot safer, but I think they work actually better than having a pocket knife. A lot of things can stay the same from show to show, especially for touring concerts, so we tape them up to keep them together. We also use tape to mark damaged equipment, so be cautious of that.